So I want to talk about physical attributes and how they relate to jujitsu and in other striking martial arts. When I first started martial arts, I started in karate. And in karate, as well as many other striking martial arts, you're learning how to increase your physicality. You're learning how to get bigger, stronger, more flexible. Like the physical fitness part of the martial art is an element of the martial art. And you see this a lot in striking martial arts. Like they say in boxing about road work being so important and the work that you put in on your own physical body. And not to say that that doesn't exist in jiu-jitsu, where if you have two guys of equal skill level, the guy who's in better shape is generally going to win. But in jiu-jitsu, it doesn't cross over into the training in the same way that it does in striking, where I remember as a white belt, and I see white belts doing this all the time, that I was trying to use my physical attributes, my flexibility, the ability for my joints to move in certain ways, and my physicality in a lot of senses, because I really didn't have any technique to make up for it. And I see all the time white belts, they're putting their knees at weird angles and they're putting their shoulder at a weird angle just to get the technique to work. And I think at least in the sense of sustainability and longevity, that jiu-jitsu has a focus on the technical aspect over everything else. And then I think your physical attributes, when you're adding them to the techniques, if you add your physical attributes to the techniques in a way, you are robbing yourself of, okay, how do I understand the maximum possible leverage in this technique? If you get a submission hold, you should be able to enact the submission hold with, the strength of, a 5-year-old girl. And you don't need to be strong to enact a submission hold. To give you another sort of example of what I mean, I had a student who had a striking background, and he had someone dig their elbows into his thighs when he had a closed guard. So he went home later that night and practiced with his sister that, for him to get used to people putting their elbows in his thighs, which is so crazy because all you really just need to do is break down their posture, and they can't do that to you anymore. But in striking, it's different. It's like there is an element of you have to toughen yourself to the strikes, that the physical attribute is part of the martial art. And again, not to say that being bigger or stronger or having physical attributes isn't going to help you in jiu-jitsu, but it's not part of the focus, and the technique that you should be aiming for and striving for should be one where it's effortless. So this is something that I see white belts all the time sort of overcompensate for. They are using their physical attributes rather than their technique. And I believe that's why the injury rate among white belts a lot of times is high. When you see more advanced people roll, there's more of like an exchange of a kinesthetic language that's happening rather than, than like a striking example of being hit or having it be a very physical exchange. So just be careful when you are entering into a jiu-jitsu class, especially if you are new. Take it slow. When in doubt, don't try to use your strength. Just try to learn as much as you can, and there's literally a technique for every single situation that you're in. So, or at least a principle that you could follow. So you should strive to do that. And yes, you can add your physical attributes into your jiu-jitsu later, but there is a detachment of the physical attributes for jiu-jitsu, and there is an attachment from the physical attributes into the technique in striking martial arts. So I think that that is a major, major difference that's not talked about quite enough, and something that you should consider in your practice. Anyway, thank you guys so much. Please make sure to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. And I hope you have a great rest of your night. Thanks.